Hey, what's up? It's your old pal, Mr. Cook, and we are working on the Unit 6C X review. So this is all of the law of sines, law of triangles, law of sines, law of cosines stuff for oblique triangles. So we need to familiarize ourselves with the law of sines and then the different forms of the law of cosines that solves for sides and solve for angle measurements. We've already gone through like a ton of these solve the triangle problems. And we just have two more to work on. One of them we already actually went through, number 10. It's not possible. So we're going to work on number 9 instead, and then the word problems. So the setup for number 9 is actually like really easy because they already give us two of the angles. So to find the third one, angle A, just subtract from 180. So 180 minus 55 minus 78. That's a freebie angle right there. So 180 minus 55 minus 78. 47 degrees. All right, easy. Now that we have that missing angle measurement, we can use the law of sines to solve for our other missing sides. So the side and angle pair that I have for law of sines is 47 degrees and 15 for the side length. So the sine of 47 over its opposite side, 15, is equal to the sine of 55 over its opposite side, y. And then, you just cross multiply and solve, and you get y is equal to 15 times the sine of 55 over the sine of 47, and then you can just type it into your calculator and get your answer. So 15 times the sine of 55 over the sine of 47, and you get that y is equal to about 16.80. So there's one of your sides to go along with that missing angle. Now let's get the last side, and that's going to be the x side. So x is across from 78, so we go sine of 78 over x is equal to, and then we use the same ratio that we did before, sine of 47 over 15. And then you cross multiply and solve, and you get x is equal to, let's see, that'd be 15 sine of 78 over the sine of 47. And then just type it into your calculator, and you get your approximate answer for the other missing side. So 15 sine of 78 divided by the sine of 47. And you get 20.06, so that's your last side length. All right, so there's all three of the sides, all three of the angles, and you're all done. And it looks like we're done with the solving the triangle stuff. So the next part is pretty nice because we have these 3 word problems. 2 of them we're gonna be able to do. 13, unfortunately, is a problem that I created when it was kind of a little bit late yesterday, and for all intents and purposes, I don't think it's possible to solve it. I'll look at it and see if that's the case, and we'll even point out like why it's impossible to solve it when we see it. But yeah, I left out some information I think that I should have. So whatever. One less problem to work on, but it's okay. We have 2 nice little word problems here. The FCC is trying to track down a pirate radio station's signal. It uses 2 powerful antennae located 12 miles away from each other to triangulate the source of the signal. So they're about 12 miles away from each other. We know that. So here are the 2 antennae. Antenna A locates the signal 48 degrees above the direct line distance to antenna B. So 48 degrees above it, so like that. And then antenna B locates the signal 78 degrees above the direct line. So that's going to be 78. What is the distance from antenna A to the source? So here's our little source. Let's call it X. What's the distance from B to the source? So we're just looking for these 2 side lengths. All right, let's use a different letter so we can store X as our little variable. So we need side X and side Y, basically. So you might have already seen exactly what we need to do. We have these 2 angles. So let's solve for the third one there. So 180 minus 78 minus 48. Never hurts to just get extra information, so 54 degrees. And in this case, it's vital to get the answers that we're looking for because we needed that 54 to, use the law of sines. So we do the sine of 54 over its opposite side, 12, and that's equal to the sine of 48 over its opposite side, y, which will give us the distance from antenna B to C. To the source, and then also we can use the same thing, sine of 54 over 12, and set it equal to the other ratio, which would be the sine of 78 over its opposite side, x. And then solve for both of those side lengths, and that'll be the answers for each of the questions that we're looking for. Okay, so by cross multiplying, you end up with y is equal to 12 times the sine of 48 over the sine of 54. And then by cross multiplying here, you get x is equal to 12 times the sine of 78, or it's up over the other angle's sine of 54. Okay, so I'm just going to type these into my calculator and then get my answers. So let's see here, 12 sine 48 divided by sine 54. So for this one, I get 11.02 miles. And let's see what I get with this one. 12 times the sine of 78 divided by the sine of 54. And that one I get 14.51 miles. There we go. So I know that the antenna, let's see, Y. So antenna B is going to be closer than antenna A is. All right, so that's 1. Now let's go ahead and go through number 12. Sandy is cutting cloth for her triangular windsurfing sail. Cool. And must buy plastic lining for the edges of the sail. She knows the sail attaches 2 of its sides to rails of length 6.5 feet and 9.8 feet. So it sounds like if it's a triangular sail, right, we already know that 2 of the sides are 6.5 feet and then also 9.8 feet. So that's pretty nice. And that the rails make a 63-degree angle. Okay, so we know the angle between them also. If she needs to buy plastic lining for all 3 sides, what length does she need to buy? So in other words, we need to find the other side length. And then once we find the other side length, if she needs to line all 3 sides, then we just add up those distances. So we just need to solve for x, and that's it. So we use the law of cosines in this case. So let's write it up and then type it in. X squared is equal to, and then it's going to be 6.5 squared plus 9.8 squared minus 2 times 6.5 times 9.8 times the cosine of the angle between them, which is 63 degrees. And then type it into your calculator, 6.5 squared plus 9.8 squared minus 2 times 6.5 times 9.8 times the cosine of 63. And then take the square root of that. And you get 8.97. So x is equal to 8.97. And I guess that's feet for all of them. So feet, feet, feet. So to find the total length of the lining that she needs to buy, you just add those up. So 6.5 plus 9.8 plus 8.97. And what do we end up with? So that plus 6.5 plus 9.8. Right around about 25.27. So 25.27 feet. And that's our answer for that one. And you know what? I know this one's not going to work, so I'm not even going to worry about it. Let's just concentrate on these two, and then we're going to work on the video for the group work next. Okay, so that's it for this one. Just check out the group work if you need some extra examples, and also check on Schoology for the solutions for these if you just want to kind of look at some of the work instead. Okay, that's it. Thank you.